We are only a few scant seconds late. So understand that, people. Well, there's a delay. But as I digress, I'm going to welcome you to Nerd Sports episode 193. Yes, angry faithful, boys and girls of all ages, backbenchers, and those who allow us to live rent-free in your heads. We're back. It's Monday. There has been a ton of, I would say, news out there. But we're going to start the week off like we should with our glorious and esteemed producer, David, providing the weird sport of the week.
Yeah, this weird sport of the week, it's called ski jording. And basically, you're traveling, you're being pulled by a horse, and you're doing moves around a track. And there's another portion to where you basically, I forget what it's called, using like a jousting stick and getting those circles.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing that too. There's like, it's a whole big competition for it. I mean, it looks, I don't know if I would do it. I don't even know if I'm skilled enough to do it, but
Right. Well, and for those of you who are noticing, there is a definitive lack of the Jacka with us this week. However, fear not. We didn't part ways with him because of creative differences. We are allowing him to convalesce because the Jacka just doesn't feel good. So
yeah, he's been hurting with that stuff since last week. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely been an up and down. I mean, look,
my allergies have been getting bad. I don't know how. I mean, he's even worse than I am.
Yeah, he is. So it's just a simple situation of, make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. I mean, because if you get the funk, I mean, hey, there's not a lot that we can do about it these days. But just take care of yourselves. Make sure that we're not passing unnecessary viruses around.
It's
Drink,
depending.
get your vitamin C. David, before you go somewhere, I'm trying to make a serious PSA here.
Okay.
So it's a just kind of be, I don't want to say be excellent to each other, just be excellent to yourself, okay, and be considerate of the people around you, kind of a thing. I mean, I know herd immunity is a thing. It should have been a thing. There should have never been a lockdown during the pandemic, don't get me wrong, but anyway, we're moving on here. Let me so yeah, while I'm getting that page to pull up, I finished the Christmas project of Christmas projects this week, or this past week. Polar Lights is a company. It's a model company, and they released back in 2009 a 350 scale model of the NX-01 Enterprise, the one that Scott Bakula commanded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had bought and built this for my brother way back in the day, and this is before I knew about things like Aztecing and lighting, models and things like that. And I mean, I really just phoned this thing in. You're just cheap silver Walmart spray paint, hand painted a couple of panels just to kind of give it a little bit of texture, and didn't even clear coat it. The decals were all silvering and everything like that. Dude, yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to try and let me. I'm going to pull up one picture.
Okay.
Just one picture, because by God, I'm proud of that thing.
It looked. I mean, there's like hundreds of them, and they're all really cool looking.
Yeah. Let me see here. Okay. We're going to go with that one. And then I'm going to go with the one that was lit. All right. So let me go in here and present and share my screen. And we're going to go to window and we're going to do that. Okay. So there it is. All of those little textures, the darker shading on the panels, those were all stenciled by hand. I mean, I have a Cricut machine that I cut the templates out with, but I cut each and every one of those panels by hand. I laid the stencil down, I airbrushed it, pulled the stencils off. I counted there was 230 individual decals that I had to put on this thing. And that thing, I put lights in it. So I was pretty happy with that. You know, and I feel bad too because like when I gave it back to my brother, I was like, okay, look, dude, there are certain rules here. Like,
Didn't your dad make a
no, he's supposed to build a case for it to display it in, but that's going to be an endeavor in and of itself. So,
yeah.
you know, I told my brother, like, look, dude, try to transport this as little as possible, and by little as possible, I mean not at all. Because I mean, I did have to take it apart. And models that you use plastic welder or super glue with, they don't come apart willingly. So I had to finesse this thing apart just so that way I could clean it, strip it, take all of the window panels out of it, clear, clean all the clear, all the clear parts that were supposed to be clear, things of that nature. And then, I mean, I spent 4 days just decaling it alone. And then, I don't know, probably put about a month and a half to 2 months worth of work into it. So, and it's one of those situations where it's like when you get done building something like that, you get a little sad because like the project's over, but at the same time you feel kind of relieved because you're like, okay, now I can have something else to chase. Something else can, cause my dopamine to spike, and I can go chase that. But I don't know. It was a fun project. I am going to build another one, but I'm going to build it for me. And I am going to I'm going to go full ham on it. We're talking photo etch parts. We're talking sequenced lights, things of that nature. It's going to get stupid. But on the baseball front, there is one team that seems to be rising to the top as far as the Alex Bregman sweepstakes are concerned. And this was as of today. The Detroit Tigers are reportedly all in on Bregman, eyeing Santander and Kim as fallback options for third base. Now, what makes the Tigers pursuing Alex Bregman really interesting is, and yes, everybody, the light is on, but yet my wife loves me enough to still bug me through the glass door. Anyway, Alex Bregman, what makes this a kind of an interesting, potential landing spot for Alex Bregman is the fact that AJ Hinch is the manager for the Detroit Tigers, and AJ Hinch and Alex Bregman are very familiar with each other because of the 2017 World Series winning squad in Houston. Obviously, AJ Hinch was the manager back then. Alex Bregman, of course, he was still playing third base for the Astros back then too. I don't know really. The Astros, they've got fallback contingencies in case Alex Bregman does decide to take his aging bat somewhere else. Alex Bregman in of himself is he's an exciting free agent signing out there. Obviously, he's the top third baseman on the market still. I just think that with his declining offense, actually in his declining defense, he's getting close to that precipice in his career where he's going to start aging out, and as he gets older, his stats are going to start declining.
Are they going to decline that much as you think, though?
Okay, so
okay.
No, hold on. Third baseman, okay, guys who play third base are incredibly athletic, but they don't stay athletic for very long. Okay. Because the reaction or their reaction times need to stay up, and 90% of the time they don't. The offensive side of it, I mean, yeah, you could extend the shelf life of a player by taking him off of the field and putting him in as a designated hitter. I mean, you look at Albert Pujols, and that's what he did towards the tail end of his career. And he finished as a designated hitter. David Ortiz, his primary position when he was fielding was first base, but they made him primarily the designated hitter for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, the reason why I say this, Nolan Ryan stayed there in there when he was 46, and he was still a powerhouse.
Bear in mind, David, that was back when men were men and sheep were scared. Okay, they don't build them like Nolan Ryan anymore.
I don't know. You could have somebody that's
not with today's game. Today's game is set up to specialize in pitch counts, situational pitching. You've got all these analytics that have been introduced into the game, all these metrics that they measure the success of a start and a career, against. So you're not going to see a guy going out there throwing 145 pitches and then go back out there on the fifth, every fifth day. And you're definitely not going to see a guy go out and pitch 9 to 10, maybe 12 innings, and then go out maybe on short rest and pitch in a spot because the two starters in front of him are hurt, or something. You're not going to see that anymore. A lot of that is because of the conditioning that a lot of these modern athletes are going through. A lot of it is a lot of these guys just don't want to do it because they look at it as, yeah, well, I could do the whole Ironman thing, but
I don't know. We have so much technology nowadays that it's a little bit better. I mean, they can get stems. I've seen like fighters that should have been out a long time ago, and they got stem cells. They get reconstructive, Derek
Jeter got stem cell therapy on his ankle. Or no, it wasn't Derek Jeter. Kobe Bryant, he got stem cell therapy on his knees and his ankles.
It's also where you go too. If you go to like Panama, you get like the good stuff.
Yeah, but there are so many banned substances on the performance enhancing drug list that if you're not going through an approved team doctor, you're taking your career in your hands.
That's ridiculous.
No, because
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Here's
well, no, okay. Hear me out.
All right, go
I'm
ahead.
so happy that the extreme sports, they have an extreme sports coming out, and basically it's sports, but everybody's on enhancement fucking drugs. I mean, if you manage some of that stuff just right, yeah, your heart's going to be a little bit bigger and blah, blah, blah.
Those athletes are going to be incredibly short. And you're going to see it's going to be popular until you see the first couple of guys die of a massive heart attack on the field. And then it's going to become a liability issue. I mean, the modern day gladiator is not a thing. It's not even a thing in professional football. It's just not because the argument that you made for science and scientific advancements and medical technology, it is so finely tuned that, I mean, it's like the modern day football helmet is only really good for an entire season before it becomes obsolete for the next model. When they introduced those Guardian caps for the NFL, those big airbags that they wear on their helmets for practice. Yeah. Those are already obsolete because those there's 5 different models of football helmet that have rendered that provide better protection against concussions than the Guardian cap does.
Mm.
Okay, so technology is moving that fast. But as far as baseball is concerned, these long drawn out contracts, these multi-$100 million contracts, they're doing nothing but hurting the game. Scott Boras is a cancer. I will die on that hill every time the subject gets brought up, because he's doing nothing more than just pricing the normal everyday fan out of the ability to attend a normal game, let alone a postseason game. Because as soon as the postseason starts, Major League Baseball takes over the pricing controls on those tickets. Okay, so and the same thing with the NFL. The second that the playoffs start, the teams and the markets do not dictate pricing on those tickets. The league does. Okay, and that is because at that point, it's no longer the club's responsibility to field a production; it's the NFL's, because there are too many TV dollars at stake.
Now, saying that,
Uh-huh.
do you think the Banana League has an actual chance of becoming more popular than the MLB?
No. Here's the thing. Now, the independent, Banana League, independent baseball by itself, and the Banana League, I mean, they are very niche. They're entertaining as hell. Trust me, I know. I've got firsthand experience. I went to a Bananas game last year when they came here to Houston back in March, and I would go again in a heartbeat. Love the Bananas. I think that product is amazing. I understand that there's a huge cry for expansion for Banana Ball, but you don't want to oversaturate the market, and you don't want to dilute the product. You want it to maintain its novelty, right? So, but with the durability of the modern day athlete, it's a very trackable stat, right? It's a very trackable thing. It's very tangible. Okay, you can go back and you can look. I mean, like with Jacoby Ellsbury, for example. Okay, he played center field for the Red Sox back 2018. Okay, or not 2018, 2013. That's right, 2013. Wins the World Series with the Red Sox. All right, and it was his contract year, so he was up for a huge payday. The Yankees, thinking that they were going to get one over on the Red Sox, lured him away for, like, I think it was 7 years, $153 million, which at the time was a pretty big contract. The amount of money that Jacoby Ellsbury stole from the New York Yankees is astounding. Okay, the biggest winner in that deal was Jacoby Ellsbury himself. Okay, because he spent a lot of the time in a Yankee uniform injured. His production fell through the floor almost immediately. Okay, granted, yes, he was injury prone to begin with, but when he was healthy, he just wasn't the same player. I don't know if it's the conditioning or what, but he just was not the same. And he was one of these guys where you look at him and they're like, okay, you almost wanted to hit him with a generational talent tag. But then you got guys like Mookie Betts, still really, really good at what he does. Okay. He's a very generational talent type guy, and the Red Sox let him go. Yes, he still produces at a high level, but he does not produce at nearly the level that he did when he was younger. And it's just because with age, we start to break down. Our bodies break down. It doesn't matter what we do to try to protect it. We can slow the aging process down to an extent, but chronologically, we're always going to lose that race against Father Time. And the thing and the deal with Alex Bregman is that a lot of the reason why people want him to stay in Houston is because of the nostalgia. Absolutely 100%. He's familiar to the hometown crowd. He's best friends with Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve is constantly in the ear of the ownership group going, hey, sign this guy. Okay. But, Alex Bregman has said that he wasn't going to announce a decision until after the holidays. Well, New Year's Day is in 2 days. Okay. So we could probably expect maybe a decision or an announcement made on his future. I would say maybe by Friday, no later than next Tuesday. Um, I would have loved to have seen him play in Boston, uh, just because as older as old as Bregman is at this point, uh, he's still defensively better at third base than Rafael Devers is. And when their bats are both on, I mean that's a formidable lineup right there. Alex Bregman, a true right-hander, and Rafael Devers is a true left-hander. So, it's I mean that would make for a pretty stout nightmare, as far as the lineup is concerned. But with the Detroit Tigers kind of coming out of nowhere, and being considered by many to be the front runners, to win the Alex Bregman sweepstakes. It's when you start looking at some of the more intangible things and some of the connections to the Detroit Tigers organization, and I'm talking more about personnel, AJ, a la AJ Hinch. It just makes a lot of sense. And if Alex Bregman was serious about staying in Houston, we wouldn't be having this conversation because they would have had him wrapped up before the season was over. And so, I think in the long run, if he does end up leaving for Detroit, I think Houston, they're going to be okay, but you're going to get a lot of people that are going to be bitter about it within the organization because they made a lot of moves to try to free up some of their payroll to be able to afford to make a serious run at Alex Bregman. By trading away somebody very popular, with the hometown crowd, Kyle Tucker. Okay, they they uh they traded him away, and everybody's like, ha, ha, ha. Because as the season was starting to wind down, everybody knew that these contract negotiations were coming up. There was a lot of scuttlebutt around the greater Houston area that was, well, can they sign them both? And if not, which one are they going to keep? And when they traded Tucker away, everybody was like, okay, great. This means we're going to get to keep Bregman, and Bregman just did not budge. Now, I don't know how much of that was him being told by Scott Boras to stay put, or him to, or the other way around. Because, Scott Boras, he doesn't necessarily care about the well-being of his clients. He just wants to pad his pocketbook. And that's all there is to it. Because I mean, he's an agent through and through, 100% through and through an agent. He does not give two shakes of a rat's ass about his clientele. He just cares about the money that they bring in. So,
Well, that's his business, honestly.
it is. That is his business. But at the same time, what is his business doing to the sport? Because at a certain point, these contracts that he's demanding for his clients, yes, the ownership has the ability to tell these players to go get fucked, right? And protect their fan base by making tickets affordable. But you're seeing more and more of these teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, specifically signing these huge long deals. The Mets, oh my God, the Mets gone on this huge spending spree this offseason. Most notably Juan Soto. But good luck trying to buy a ticket in the nosebleed section at Citi Field this coming season. You're going to be looking at probably close to $75 just for a nosebleed seat, and it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it, because you're going to start seeing attendance drop across the league because these contracts are putting everybody out of business. They're the normal person, you, me, Colin, we're not going to be able to afford to go to a game at all. And I'm sorry, the upper 3% in this country only go to so many games a year, and that's because they're too busy making money. They're too busy working all the time. So I don't know. It's a give and take. as far as these contracts are concerned. I just think that it's high time that again that baseball, Major League Baseball, has a salary cap, and until that happens, you're gonna continue to see things like what's going on with Alex Bregman, and
Why haven't they implemented a salary cap in the first place?
because the players union won't agree to it. What's funny is that the players don't seem to understand that they're biting the hand that feeds them.
Yeah, I mean what I think hockey's the only one that it still doesn't have a salary cap either. But I know every other sport has a salary cap.
But and there has been rumor. I haven't seen anything online other than on X. But Trevor Bauer, I am so, if this is true, I am stoked for this. Trevor Bauer, he was basically blacklisted from or from Major League Baseball after that felonious essay suit that was filed against him a few years ago. All the charges were dropped. The complainants, it is complainants because plaintiffs is the defendant, right? Anyway, so the petitioner, the women coming forward making these accusations, every single one of them recanted their story and came clean that we were just kind of looking for 15 minutes and trying to extort money. And yeah,
it looks like it's just a story. It's clickbait stuff. I'm looking at Sports Illustrated yesterday. Former Cy Young winner,
pronounced Cy Young.
Cy Young winner Trevor Bauer continues to make case for return to MLB roster.
Yes,
and probably just
trying to make the point that I was trying to make is that he's being tied to the Red Sox organization.
Yeah, that
would be great. I would love to see that. And you're going to get those crowd, like, oh, he's a rapist. No, he's not. It's like putting the POTUS up on the, or the POTUS elect up on the stand going, hey, you're a rapist. Yeah, prove it.
That's the sad thing is once you're accused of something like that, even if you prove that you haven't, it wasn't even done or anything, you're still accused of it. It's one of those things.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's highly unfortunate, but all right. So moving on to football. Chris has already sent us his picks for the week. Right now, San Francisco with about 11:57 left. They're up 14-6 over the Lions, which is weird. But we still got almost we still got 3/4 of football basically left to play.
You missed there was a funny thing that happened. One of the Detroit Lions pushed one of the San Francisco players into the stands, right into a guy in a wheelchair.
Oh,
we can't show it, but it was funny. It's on X. You can find it.
Well, I don't want to be accused of making fun of the handicap, but I mean, he ruined somebody's vegetable plate.
I know, right?
Okay. I know it's all fun and games until you yourself are handicapped. Well, 100% disability does that, I guess. I don't know. Is it a bold move? Yeah, but anyway, I digress. So we started the week off picking Kansas City over the Steelers. Every one of us got that pick right. And then we
hold on. I forgot. I got I got to pull up his picks.
For the week. So yeah, just pull those up because I mean you got time because we're gonna go through last week or yesterday's games. David, you were the only one that picked the Ravens to win that game. There were so many bad calls and no calls on that game. I mean, Personally, I think the NFL, to generate some excitement for the last couple of weeks of the season, decided to give Lamar Jackson an opportunity to pad a game, stat pad, because
Yeah.
they knew that Josh Allen was running away with the MVP vote.
I just saw the Ravens just destroying Houston.
Well,
Yeah. Houston lost a lot of their defense a couple of games ago.
yeah,
And
it's not going to be a fruitful postseason for this.
here's the messed up part. They got to play him again in the playoffs.
They do. But here's the thing. When you play somebody 3 times, the third time, it's going to be a lot closer. So I don't know. We will see what happens. I have hopes that, they'll take the Ravens down, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
The next up,
this
this one, you were the only one that picked the Bears. And this was a field goal fest. The Seattle Seahawks came out on top 6-3 in that game. Everybody else did pick Seattle. Next up, we all picked the Chargers to win big over the Patriots.
Oh, God,
that happened. Fun fact about the Kansas City Chiefs this year: they have yet to score more than 31 points in a game.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's that witchcraft, man. I'm telling you,
it probably is.
Yeah,
they have to do it like a little bit. They can't do it full on.
Right. We all picked the Denver Broncos to beat the Bengals, and that should have happened. But I think it's funny what happened now. By the virtue of the fact that the Broncos lost and that the Giants won their game against the Colts, which we'll get to here in just a little bit, they prevented the Giants from being able to pick first overall next year in the draft.
That's so hilarious.
It is. I mean, it's funny how
They threw
things
the game on purpose.
Do I know?
They threw the game on purpose.
I mean, because if you see video of their kicker, the Denver kicker on the sideline, he did not care. He did not care at all. But I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we all.
I don't think Darius can pick teams because he's 0 right now.
Well,
Darius's picks.
I mean,
he picked the Ravens.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. He picked the Ravens. Never mind. I was looking at.
I think he also picked New York for some reason.
I don't know, but Colin, you and Chris both picked Arizona to win that game against the Rams. David and I split the vote. The Rams did come out on top with that game, but the game ended up becoming the game of the week.
Go
ahead.
I don't want to say it's the game of the week because there's even a funnier one.
No, I'm just talking about draft pick implications.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So trust me, there's a method to my madness, David. So just
there is some really weird stuff that happened this week in football.
But
for draft implications, yeah, you're absolutely right.
The Colts, we all picked the Colts to beat the Giants, and that should have been a thing. But for whatever reason, the Giants decided, you know what? And more specifically, the Giants' rookie wide receiver. He's out there playing 3D chess. I mean, we're talking Mr. Spock level 3D chess, right? Where he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the point where when he kept scoring touchdowns, the Giants fans at home were booing the team for winning the game. Yeah. The Giants fans at the Meadowlands were booing the Giants for winning this game. Because, Giants fans are like, oh, well, we have a chance to get Shedeur, Sanders. And trust me, Shedeur Sanders, he is at best maybe, and I'm saying maybe, a number 10 pick. I will die on that hill. Coach Prime, I don't care. You can come on our show and you can talk all the swagger and shit you want. I don't care. I said what I said, and I mean it. I'll defend it. You're Shador Sanders he's a decent quarterback. He's very mobile, but at the NFL level, I think he's going to have a Caleb Williams kind of hard time. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that the Giants would be best served by next year signing Jameis Winston to a contract to come play for them. And their rookie wide receiver that they've got right now, he's going to be targeted so many times. He may screw around and find himself catching a 2,000-yard season next year.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the
Giants thing that the Giants had going for them toward the end of last year.
How many years,
at the time.
Okay, how many years have they been like this losing? Was it like 3?
It's been a rough ride. Not as rough as the Jets, but it's been a minute since the Giants said, since Eli Manning.
Okay. There's a reason for my madness because the first year that you like have this horrible of a season, it's considered a rebuild. You got you're not going to finish your rebuild until maybe the fourth year, third or fourth year. You should be going to Super Bowl.
Well, the Giants they've been rebuilding for a couple of years now, David, and they just had a huge setback when they lost Saquon Barkley. Now there's a video floating around out there that was taken. It was a scene from that show Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
The general manager is like, look, we need a quarterback. And we need to win games, and you're not going to do that. Doing that, handing it off to a $21 million a year running back, and then it starts heating up. The Saquon Barkley market starts heating up, and one of the Giants executives is like, "I'm going to be sick if he goes to Philadelphia." That's exactly where he went. And here's the funny thing. The Giants and the Eagles play each other next week. Now, Saquon Barkley has the opportunity to potentially have a career game and set the single season rushing record. Okay. And just absolutely annihilate the Giants. What that would do is put the Giants back in contention for the number 1 pick. Now, if the Eagles decided to bench Barkley, because at this point, Saquon Barkley is he's got 2,003 yards, I think, for the season right now. He's about 300 yards better than Derrick Henry, who is the next closest running back for the rushing title. They could bench all of their starters next week and rest them to get ready for the playoffs. And basically, ruin the hopes of the Giants getting that number 1 pick. So it's going to be funny to see how the Philadelphia Eagles handle that situation. Personally, I would rest all of the starters. I really would. But moving on, we all picked Buffalo to beat the Jets. That happened very handedly. I mean, that was an embarrassing game. To the point where they benched Aaron Rodgers at the end of the game.
Yes, that's what I was going to get at. They benched Aaron Rodgers, and Taylor got like a touchdown right at the bat.
Yeah,
right.
The wide receiver core was very responsive to Taylor coming into that game. So you kind of have to look at it. Well, the thing about Aaron Rodgers is that his ego precedes him. Like, it gets to the building 15 minutes before he does.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole point. He's one of those guys that should have been benched a long time ago.
You're right. He should have been benched a long time ago.
Retired last year, and he didn't. And he's going.
Unfortunately, though, I think that
messed up thing.
His failed foray into reviving a franchise is going to be his legacy.
Yeah,
people are going to really forget. They're going to forget that he won a Super Bowl with Green Bay.
Now, is he going to retire after this season? Do you think?
I mean,
I'm
honestly-
hoping he does.
Honestly,
Watch
if Aaron Rodgers is going to be like Aaron Rodgers has been, no.
Dude, have you seen that Netflix documentary?
No, I haven't watched any of that yet.
Dude. I watched it. I was like, that's why the offensive line hates him. I get it now.
Yeah,
Man, I wasn't fully on board because I'm an optimist. I believe everybody has like a goodness in their being and everything. And then you watch that and it's like, oh, I get it now.
yeah.
I totally get
Well,
it now.
the next game up was the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I took Tennessee as the lone dissenter because I just wanted us to be able to hedge our bets. Well, we hedged our bets. We picked the winner. It just wasn't unanimous.
It was a flip of a coin. We all agreed. It's like
I wasn't mad about it, like at all. I wasn't mad at all. Next up, nobody. No, let me scratch that because I can feel the pride beaming up, just building in Colin right now. He was the only one that picked the Raiders to beat the Saints. So
I don't even want to see that anymore. I'm sorry. Both those teams are kind of like iffy teams, anyways.
Well,
neither one of them made it into the playoffs. Neither one of them. Saints had like a big boost in their ego in the beginning of the season because of the wins. And what's sad is that's the only wins they won.
Right.
And you can't really say anything. It was like, well, I just picked the Raiders. You picked one of the teams that played football that day. Neither one of them are good.
Well, moving on, we all picked Tampa Bay, so that was a unanimous victory.
Do you think Tampa Bay is still in the playoffs?
I wanted to split the vote with Chris. Chris, with his emotional picked the Cowboys to beat the Eagles.
Jesus, I'm so glad I didn't.
That went sideways after the first pick. 4 turnovers on the day. 4 turnovers on Sunday.
Dude, I'm going to do an emotional pick and pick the Cowboys. All right, man, but it's going to be okay. I've already said that this week, the teams to look for this season in the playoffs: Buffalo, Philadelphia, Vikings, Detroit, and Kansas City. The extra one is the Ravens. Those teams right there, it's going to be it's a hard choice to figure out. I want to believe in the magic of the Detroit Lions this year of winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
But they lost they're another team that lost a lot of their defensive team too.
Right.
And some of their offense. And it's been showing. I mean, last week they
Cowboys they were eliminated. Okay, we'll get to that question in just a second, Darius. So the Cowboys, I want to say that the Cowboys were eliminated in week 1 because this just wasn't going to be it, right? We're gonna be on this domestic abuse, cycle all over again next year. This is going to be our year, blah, blah. How about them? We them boys. No, the fuck you ain't. So, but next up, we had Miami at Cleveland. Miami took care of business when they went north. 20-3 was the final on that. We all picked Minnesota. Yeah, exactly. When it took them until Thanksgiving Day to win their first home game. Yeah. Minnesota beat the Packers by 2. That was a divisional game. The Vikings are still trailing the Lions for the division. In that game right now, 6:13 left in the half. It's 13-21, San Fran. But like I said, we still got a whole half of football left. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I don't want to go anything about the Detroit because I've seen them like in the second half just totally.
that's
they
why I'm not sweating it. That's 100%. That is why I'm not sweating that pick at all.
Oh yeah,
not at all. I mean, it's not like we're Dave Portnoy where we lose $250,000 because somebody doesn't score a touchdown. Did you see that video?
Yeah, on the Atlanta Washington game.
Yeah,
dude,
like,
he was so pissed off. He took the video in the dark. I watched that video. Yes, and I was like, I was curious. I was like, what is he talking about? Because I just got off at work. I hadn't. I was doing other things yesterday.
Right.
I went to go eat, and I was trying to calm down from like just work. Nothing bad happened. I just, it's getting off of a 12-hour shift does it to a person.
Right.
You have to cool down. And then I finally seen the footage. I was like, no, Atlanta had that game.
Yeah,
they had it, and they just gave it away for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man, but anyway,
oh, you can pull up the picks for Chris a lot easier than I can.
Yeah, let me try to get those pulled up here real quick. Again, brother, we miss you. So, bastard, you're missing the show. Fuck us up with that. Anyway, digress. And again, so the next game, it was Sunday night's game. It was the Atlanta at Washington. Colin, you were the only one that picked Atlanta. Honestly, that game could have gone both ways.
No, Darius picked Commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I'm sorry, I haven't been saying his from like for the 23rd for last episode.
David, you're saying his name wrong. It's Darius.
Darius. Dude, I'm severe dyslexia. So
well, no. See, it's funny because it happens to him so often where people misread his name.
It's one of those points, dude. I haven't gotten made fun of my last name since I was out of high school. I was in the military. I was surprised that nobody made fun of me. Still, I get it a little bit, but
yeah.
Well, you know, good old skeleton. That's always
dude,
been.
We've heard skeleton, Skeletor.
That one was new. When Mindy talked about that, I was like, I've never heard.
Oh no, Skeletor was a big like dig when I was going through like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade because He-Man was big, on Afghan TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. You should take that as a compliment, really. I mean,
well, they used to call my dad Bones in the Navy.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay, but because me being the Star Trek nerd, I'm like, oh, so they were calling you Dr. McCoy. Okay. He's like, no, that's not what they meant. I was like, oh, okay. I understand that. Okay.
like, oh.
I would take that as a compliment. No, not really. All right.
Okay, yeah, there's no Thursday night games. There's no there's only like Saturdays and Sunday games. And is there a Monday? There has to be a Monday game. Why am I not seeing it? Why is there no Monday game?
I'm looking here. Hold on.
Yeah, there's no Monday night game.
Okay.
Nope, it's Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. I guess ESPN didn't pay for the full schedule.
Well, no, I don't think that's it, but
Oh, are you? No, there's no Monday night game. I'm on the NFL website.
Yeah.
It's scheduling. That's all it is. 100%. It's just the scheduling.
That's kind of sad.
Okay. First up, we have got the Browns at the Ravens. I'm taking Baltimore because I'm
Yeah.
not a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad. At the last week, we can pick almost like verbatim of who's the best one, because we have already seen.
Yeah, Darius, I'm not putting your last name out into the universe. So, no, in case you come up missing, I don't want the Alphabet Boys come knocking on my door asking where you're at. No, I'm not doing that.
So next one, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
I'm going Cincinnati.
I don't know, man.
Pittsburgh, man.
TJ Watt's back from the injured list, so I honestly I don't see this faring well for Cincinnati. I'm going to go Pittsburgh on this one. What say you, Mr. Dickerman?
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Okay. And Chris is picking the Steelers. Colin, you're going Cincinnati?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Panthers at the Falcons. I'm going to take Atlanta. No. Yeah. I'm going to take Atlanta.
I'm taking Panthers.
I'll take Atlanta.
Chris is taking the ATL. Colin's going to come out with a perfect week next week. It's going to be awesome. All right. We've got the Commanders at Dallas. Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things like,
Chris is even picking Washington.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
I'll go Washington. I'm just I'm like, is it gonna be one of those weeks for Dallas?
It is. It's a home game.
Is it gonna be one of those weeks?
Well, it's at 12 p.m., so that sun is going to be shining right through that window.
Well, yeah.
The stadium's going to empty out by the third quarter. It's going to be a thing. All right. Next up, we've got the Bears at the Packers. I'm going to go Green Bay on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going Green Bay.
Okay, good, because I put you down for Green Bay.
Thank God.
Right. It's almost like I know you or something. The Jags at the Colts. I'm going to take the Colts. I mean, even though the Colts are being bad, I mean, even though the Colts are bad right now, they're still better than the Jaguars right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jags.
This is going to be brutal.
Really? You're going to go Jags?
Look.
Okay. Hey, you know what? You don't have
Did you realize they're a team now?
Huh?
Did you finally realize they're a team?
They've been putting up points, and the only reason why I kept forgetting that they were a team was because they kept going on a bye week at the beginning of the season.
They get one bye week, but it just seems like they're not playing.
It's like one bye week. Very rarely do they get two.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. I just.
All right. In the no-brainer of the week, I'm taking the Bills.
No, this isn't the no-brainer.
Okay.
Oh, it is a no-brainer. Buffalo Bills.
Well, I know it's a no-brainer, but it's not the no-brainer of the week.
Okay. All right. Here's my hot take for the next game. Giants at the Eagles. Eagles are going to sit their starters. They're going to rest everybody. And they're going to tell their secondary. They're going to tell their secondary. No, they're going to tell the secondary, play zone all game long. I'm taking the Giants.
I'm gonna take Philadelphia only
you're-
because this is a rivalry game.
Picking, look, you're picking a New
Neither
York
the only team that has anything remotely tangible to play for are the Giants. And if they tank that game to try to keep themselves in the running for a first round for the number 1 pick, okay. I mean, that's really
It would be okay. It would be a
You're
fun
picking a New York team.
out of pure irony, Colin.
No,
You're still picking a New York team.
You go ahead and do that. No. I'm not joking around on this one. You go ahead and do that.
After this, dude, after the show, you better take a shower. Like,
Look,
the reason why I say that,
there's not enough antibiotics, probiotics, holy water. There is not enough grace in the Bible to save my soul from what I just, from the sin that I just committed.
I mean, he is right.
But I have the
They're
license.
in Jersey.
We know that they play in Jersey. That's the
No,
that's the running joke in that city, is that if you want to get away from the taxes, go play in New Jersey. But the funny thing is that when you play in Jersey, you're taxed twice, because you're taxed by the state of New Jersey because that's where you're working, but then you get taxed again by the state of New York because that's where they live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Right?
well,
So
you can assume who I'm picking, though.
you're going to pick the Eagles. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But
Caw-caw!
I think that the Eagles are going to rest their starters, and that the Giants are going to be handed a win, and they're going to try to wrestle defeat from the jaws of victory. But I think that the Eagles defense is going to lay down without actually looking like they're laying down.
That, or they just slaughter New York.
That's only if they put their starters in,
Is
honestly.
Tampa Bay not in the playoffs?
Yeah, they are. They're a wild card. No. I think they're going to win their division. I'll double check it here in just a second. Because Derek wanted us to look at the playoff bracket as it stands today. But this coming game, I'm looking at Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay's chances on that one.
I'm really big on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. I mean, even if he is an Oklahoma Sooner, I like the kid. I do.
Yeah, that's the only.
The Texans are going to have to right the ship. They're going to have to figure out something, because you can't back into the playoffs. You just can't do it. Even with their deficiencies as far as personnel is concerned, I think they're going to go into
a rematch game.
It is. I think they're going to go into Nissan Stadium there in Nashville, and they're going to walk out a winner. I think Houston's going to take that game.
Especially they're going to take it because it's a rematch game against a team they shouldn't have lost to at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that one.
So,
but I don't know if they have that. That was the other question I was going to ask, and I knew he was going to ask that too. Is Houston have their starters? And I don't think so.
I
like I said, Houston's another team that they should have had like a clinch in most of those games, but they ended up losing a lot of their teammates.
Here, let me see if they have their starters.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a busy docket of games because everybody's playing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Next game up, we've got the Niners at the Cardinals. Both teams are going to miss the playoffs. I'm probably looking at. I'm going to look at San Francisco on this one.
Yeah.
Chris is going to take Arizona. So, yeah. I was just assuming that he was going to pick what I was typing in, and I'm going back and making sure I'm picking all the ones. Yeah. Okay. I got his picks right. So, there's that. Okay. Let me see here.
I hope
Colin, who are you taking? San Francisco or Arizona?
Screw it, Arizona.
I had my finger on the A key, so there you go. All right, next up, Chiefs at the Broncos. Unfortunately, I'm thinking Kansas City.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Donkeys.
Okay.
I've seeing them play and how they're doing last part of the season. They're actually doing pretty decent.
They are.
I don't know if they have the gas to go up against Kansas City.
They're not. Yeah, they're just not.
I'm making an educated wish.
Yeah. Chris is going to pick the Chiefs. Colin, Denver, just by default.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up, we've got the Seahawks at the Rams. I'm thinking LA.
Yeah.
I can't find if Texans have their starters or not.
They've got a majority of their starters. I mean, they just came off of a pretty brutal turnaround. It was like 2 or 3 games in like 11 days or something like that. So
yeah,
they've did the first full week.
If you have to play Christmas, hey, you're playing like almost 3 days a week.
Yeah. All right. You taking the Rams on that one, Colin?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Chargers at the Raiders. I'm going to take the Chargers just because the Chargers, they're going to the playoffs. So, and they're not going to back into the playoffs. I don't think Coach Harbaugh is going to let that happen. So he's going to do what's necessary in order to make sure that his guys are ready for that game, and they're going to go in there and they're going to pick on the Raiders.
Well, apparently Houston is not going to rest their players against Tennessee, so they're going.
We knew that because now they're playing for seeding. So, but who see here? Chris is taking the Chargers on that one. Colin, you taking the Chargers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Dolphins at the Jets. The Jets are going to meet a merciful ending to their miserable season. I'm going to pick Miami on that one.
So, dude, this next game is insane.
Is that what you're taking, David?
Yeah, Miami. Who bets on the Jets?
All right, and for the last game of the week, it's Sunday night game. It is going to be a divisional game. You've got the actually. Okay, here's the thing. Here's how this game is going to be important.
I'm so torn about this.
Depending on what happens tonight. Okay. Mm-hmm. If the Lions pull this out and they improve to 14-2, these two teams
got a touchdown. So
let me look, or you can look, whatever. Yeah, the Vikings and the Lions will be tied going into this game record-wise. Detroit has the tiebreaker against Minnesota because they've already beaten them once this year. So what could possibly happen is if the Vikings win on Sunday night, it's going to come down to points margin to decide who wins the division. And by default, the number 1 overall seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So
they have to win this to get the bye week.
I'm taking Detroit in this one. Just because I think that, they've come this far. Okay. They are going to, definitely, they're going to do it to it. So I'm taking the Lions. I know Chris is taking the Lions. Pretty sure Colin's going to take the Lions.
You got to give me a second to think. I'm like,
Yeah, you've been
I'm really
you've been
I've
riding
been
that Viking ship all year long. So
I'm torn on this game, and it's not even just for like emotional wise. It's like pure logical thinking. Because on one hand, Vikings have a reason to strive really hard just for because it's a rematch game that they originally lost to Detroit. So
yeah,
they have a fire to ignite their passion for
yeah.
this game. And
But they're playing it in Detroit, and that crowd is going to be all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is going to be deafening in that stadium.
I I
It's
I
not
don't
going to
I
be a
don't really
blowout by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to come down to a field goal, and it may end up.
I don't I'm fine with either team winning. I truly am.
Yeah,
Um but I think I'm gonna have to go with Detroit just purely by of how well they've been doing this
yeah.
season. And
You taking Detroit, David?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
it hurts to pick between those two teams.
Right. All right. So let me do this here real quick. Yeah, this is week 18, guys. I mean, we have
I know. It's like
we have officially made our way through an entire another season.
Yeah.
All right.
it's really 'cause I haven't cared about football at all up till this year. And now I'm just kind of like, dude, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. All right. All right. So those picks are going to be heading your way here in just a second. But Colin, you ready for your joke time segment? Because I think we're actually gonna set a land speed record. We're gonna get this show in under an hour and a half. I think this week.
No, last week didn't do the same thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But you ready to go, Colin?
You're
Rising from the smoke and haze of desolation comes a Spartan. He is bent on wronging that which has been set right. It's the greatest genetic code ever to exist here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. Spartan Colin, I hope you're bringing the smoke tonight. Someone get me a joke.
probably should have checked before joke time that this one was okay.
Just tell it. Oh, wait. All right. Hold on. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Oh. 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 I'm going to preface this joke. The material that is released during the Joke Time with Colin segment is not a direct representation or reflection of the beliefs and policies of Angry Meat Production, to include Colin Skelton, the author of the Joke Time with Colin segment. With that being said, these are jokes, people, not dicks. Quit taking it so hard. Take it away, Colin.
What do all women have? Starts with a V, and they can use to get what they want. Now I know what you're thinking. It's their voice. Wrong. It's the victim card. Oh,
So we're all gonna be on X for a while.
Yeah, that's spicy right there. to be fair, at least it was clean.
Yeah.
A,
Oh, wow.
a man wakes up from a coma. His wife changes out for black clothes and, irritated, remarks, "I really can't depend on you for anything, can I?"
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Read that again.
All right. A man wakes up from a coma. His
Uh-huh.
wife changes out of her black clothes and, irritated,
Oh.
remarks, "I really can't depend on you for anything, can I?"
Oh,
I get it
yeah, I
now.
get it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, we
Yeah.
old guy slow. That's what it is this week.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Was that it for the week?
Yep. Yep.
Slipping out through the fog of war, this Spartan continues the fight. Your souls have become collateral damage in the battle against the flood of moral supremacy. Leave your expectations at the door on your way out and marvel before the pillar of tactical prowess. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
Yep.
Oh, did y'all see that the Batman Part 2 got delayed till 2027?
Good. Maybe they'll, polish it up a little bit and do some reshoots. And
No.
no,
Because they don't have a script for it.
really, I thought that they were already done with it.
Nope, they don't have a script, and so that's why they delayed it till 2027.
The promotional posters that they've been releasing for it kind of alluded to the fact that they at least had a direction.
You can't believe those only because of the basic fact of CGI, AI, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well,
They make up
be
the
that as it may. Be that as it may.
So and
Yeah.
just to
on-
clarify, 2027 is the year I'm supposed to graduate, so that's fun.
Yeah. Well, I bought a PlayStation Portal today. I am going to finish getting it paired up with my PS5 after the show, and I'm gonna give it a whirl because I've got a backbone that is capable of doing PlayStation Remote Play. I use that primarily for my Xbox, though. I wanted something dedicated to the PlayStation, so I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm like, you know what? Okay. I mean, because the screen on it is bigger than an OLED Switch. Well, it's laggy if you've got shit internet, Darius. For fuck's sake. My God. So, oh my God. It's laggy. You get the Angry Me Troll of the Week award. Congratulations. You were the first one out of the chute to talk shit. You
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what they all say. Okay. Okay. All right. No, I hey, look, you can Photoshop or you can grab a screenshot of good internet off the internet somewhere, dude. No.
So last week, I
No, I
did-
no, I don't want you to. No. You're not going to send me pictures, Darius, because that's not how we're going to roll on this show.
so last week, with my brothers, I finished Arcane Season 2.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Fallout show can go suck one.
Really?
I don't know how it didn't win. I'm mind baffled on how Arcane didn't win Best Adaptation. It was,
I mean, it's all about preference, man. It's all about marketing.
and you know what really pissed me off about the Fallout show. Not
What
only
really
is
grinds your gears, go for it.
you know what's mildly it's kind of boring.
Uh-huh.
It was really good. I hate to say that.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I'm looking forward to season two.
But you know what
If
they you know
drop
what
the
I
Easter
can
eggs-
see why I got 17 Emmys.
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean,
at least for me, in most things, I feel like they could have taken a complete different direction with that show because most Fallout players, we don't do the game it's meant. We don't play the game the way it's meant to be played. We just go full chaotic rampage. So, and I also don't like Lucy that much, just because. And I understand. Oh, she was raised in a vault. She's supposed to be a goody two shoes. So was our character for Fallout 3, and he wasn't no goody two shoes.
Quick
Unless
question:
you played it boring.
Who's Layla the retriever? Who retrieves
what
the
now?
bat? Apparently,
what
that's
now?
Layla. Layla the dog. She apparently retrieves the bat, or
Oh,
some-
it's a minor league thing. Yeah, she died earlier this season.
oh,
Yeah,
or
she was a good dog.
No,
But,
I'm gonna show the picture.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I also beat Silent Hill remake.
Yeah,
It should have won best music and best narrative.
Hmm.
It was so good.
I bought tickets to go see Metallica this summer. Today,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna take your brother Jake to go see Metallica. Knock that off his bucket list. I've already seen Metallica, so I'm like I could care less either way. But I'm like, okay, this will be fun for him. When I called him downstairs, I was like, look at my phone, and he was looking because I pulled up the Ticketmaster app. Ticketmaster. I actually got the tickets cheaper from Ticketmaster than I would have through the Game Time app, which is
that's the thing. What they're doing is Ticketmaster's like technically the main one,
yeah.
and what happens is they buy the tickets from Ticketmaster and they upsell the freaking tickets.
Yeah. But 2 seats.
We were supposed to talk about that.
We were supposed to talk about that a couple weeks ago, weren't we?
Yeah.
We can figure out a way to work it back.
Y'all,
But
y'all see the new Spider-Man show that's coming out?
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh yeah,
They already did like Solo Leveling.
it's anime. It's
Oh.
it's all right.
see, this is where Colin chooses to. This is his part of the show where he picks fights with people in the comment section.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He almost picked a fight with us talking about Fallout when it was actually a pretty decent show.
Well, see,
Okay, no.
hold on before you start going on your little tirade here. The thing about Colin, when I'm familiar with him, right? I know him. We've met at least once. So, it's I just I let him have his say, and just sit here and just give him the hey, it's a cool story, bro. Look, and just let him roll with it, man. I mean, we all have to have our soapbox every once in a while. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion just like we are. I mean, it's not his fault it's wrong.
Yeah, well, explain why every time the ghoul popped on screen, it played the most stupidest sound effect ever.
What?
This is the
Do you
reason.
not? Do you
You
not
know what?
remember every time? Do you not remember every time the ghoul would pop on a screen, it would do that stupid little sound effect song?
You mean the Western sound?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, it was stupid. Like you could have played it like once per episode.
Ultimately, it boils down to preference.
Yeah.
For the OG Fallout players like David and I have been, like Scotty K Fitness on TikTok and Facebook Reels, that show paid a lot of fan service, and Bethesda. Let me finish. Bethesda did that game and did that show right, 100%. And I will die on that hill. And they stayed. For the most part, they only deviated slightly from the source material, but You know,
I really don't like. What was the guy? What was the Brotherhood guy?
let me see here. Playoff pitcher. All right, hold on just a second, Darius.
Was it tied it? What was the?
I keep on getting different playoff pictures. I totally forgot, but
I'm
they're
looking at NFL right now, so
no, it's still unannounced on the NFL.
yeah. Well, right now, number one seed is the Chiefs and the Vikings, and that's just purely by record.
Because I found one where it was Detroit and the Chiefs.
Yeah, and until next week, right now, it just no. In the hunt for wild card spots, you got the Broncos and the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Right now, you've got the way that the seeding works. Right now, you've got Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Texans, Steelers, and Chargers in that order. And then the NFC is going to be the one that's up for grabs the most. I think that the AFC is pretty much settled out at this point. The Texans can't improve their seeding, but they have the higher seeding just by virtue of the fact that they've beaten, that they won their division. So,
here's one other thing that's kind of funny, and it is sports related. I just wanted to share this. This is
I saw that today. That was hilarious. Yeah. Like the whole, did you see the whole video where he's like, he goes to put it in the cart and it falls out? He goes to put it on the counter and it falls off the counter.
I haven't opened it, and I'm just gonna keep it to keep it. I have this. This has been sitting in my room for a few months now, I think.
Okay, that's
don't worry. That stuff is so much and preservatives. It'll be good for like 2 years.
Just I'm
I'll
not
wait
gonna
to
eat
it up
it.
for years, but yeah, I get it.
I'm not gonna eat it. I mean,
We'll find you a cereal box, display case for it because they make them for Wheaties.
well, eventually I'm gonna sell it or something because
Well,
guarantee
you
you.
opened it, so it's not worth anything.
I
Yeah.
said I haven't opened it.
Oh, well, then we will get you a display case and we'll send it off to get PSA rated.
Yeah, you can do that with
Just about anything.
it's
Whether or not the PSA guys jack up your card or whatever it is that you send them. Because a lot of times these guys will send out Gen Mint 10 cards and they get them back and they're like 8s or 7s because they'll come back damaged. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. I've been seeing all kinds of videos about it. But all right, well, I don't know, guys. We're hour and 23 minutes. I think we go ahead and land this plane and call it a week.
I just want to say one more thing. Did y'all see the Black Myth Wukong devs' reaction to them losing the Game Awards?
No.
Mm-mm.
These guys, they were like, we wouldn't have gone if we knew that we weren't gonna win. Like they are the biggest sore losers. Like
there's so many people out there. You can't really say anything good or bad. I mean, you have people that are like, hey, it was just an honor just to be nominated. Then you have people who are like, I just want to be a little bitch today. And they are.
Yeah.
but then they're like, it's so funny how the difference between the Astrobot devs that shouted out Nintendo in their speech versus the Black Myth Wukong devs who threw a fit for losing.
And you'll see that flesh itself out in future projects that get picked up by studios or hardware developers like Sony or Microsoft. They'd be like, we don't want to work with these people because they're pain in the ass kind of guy. So all right, with that being said, hope everybody had a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Hope everybody had a safe New Year.
And we got 20 more days after Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Darius with his great internet, his non-shit internet, and he drops out. Look at that.
That is hilarious.
Mm.
All right, let's get this show on the.
All right. So thank you for flying Angry Me Airlines. This has been Nerd Sports episode 193. I'm Lord Johnny Skelton.
And I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Prince Colin Skelton.
You've become indentured. Dare I say, you've been enslaved. Your soul has become collateral damage, as we stated earlier in the show. And in the words of the immortal lesbian pirate, Bearded Clam, for the last time in the year of our Lord 2024. Scissor me timbers. Arr.